ভরসা করি হে ভব কান্ডারি ভরসা করি আমরা ভরসা করি হে ভব কান্ডারি হালকি ছাড়িয়া তারে দাও দাও নদী ভরা ঢেউ বোঝে না তো কেউ কেন নিজ করি বাও 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 নদী ভরা ঢেউ পাইতে জানো না কেন ধরো মনে মাঝিটা তো হলো রে মাতা পাইতে জানো না মন কেন ধরো মনে মাঝিটা তো হলো রে মাতাল বুঝিয়ে বলো তারে যেতে হবে ওই পারে বুঝিয়ে বলো তারে যেতে হবে ওই পারে অবেলা বেলা পানি চাও 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 অবেলা বেলা পানি চাও 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 আমরা বুঝি না তোকে কেন নিজ বাউ বাউ ভরা ঢেউ পাইতে জানো না পরীক্ষা পারে মন আমার পাইতে নিজ ছিল পাগলা ভাবা ভাঙা তরিতে জলে ডুবারে ডুবা পাইতে নিজ ছিল পাগলা ভাবা ভাঙা তরিতে খেয়ে ধরেছে ওই পায়ে নাকানি চুবানি খেয়ে ধরেছে পায়ে বলে ওহে ভাবের কান্দারি বাঁচাও বাঁচাও ওহে ভাবের কান্দারি বাঁচাও বাঁচাও বিপদারে বোঝে না তোকে কেন নিজ তুমি বাবা বিপদারে বিপদারে বিপদারে
সাধু সাধু তোমরা একটু রেস্ট নাও এরপরে আমরা আবার তোমাদের গান শুনবো একটা কথা আছে এই কথার পরে আবার তোমাদের গান আমরা শুনবো ঠিক আছে একটু অপেক্ষা করো আমি জানাবো আবার তোমাদেরকে thank you everyone welcome to this festival towards a better world and greetings from us with us director of Grotowski Institute Yarek before we listen something from Yarek I think with us Julia and Marco with all together are now in this pandemic in this create difficult time we all together try to connect with each other so Julia few words and then Marco will coordinate all this.
Yes, first of all, thank you all and thank you for all the participants who are online now. I see that there are people from all around the world and this is the proof that beside the particular times that we are living now everywhere in the world, we can continue to connect each other and finally we can use technology for a good reason, in a good way. And that's the proof that we are here anyway. So for me, thank you so much, Suprio, to have involved me in this project.
Marco.
Thank you, everybody. And now we listen Jarek. Thank you to stay with us. And after Jarek's speech, if there will be some answer, you can write and I will read to Jarek the answer.
And we can suggest to switch off the microphones during Jarek's speech, so it will be easier to listen to him. Thank you.
Thank you.
So there's the moment to start, yes? It's always not easy to start, but how to not start with a big thanks to express my honor and my pleasure to focus us on the moment, yeah, via these devices through these technical conditions which we are using now for one particular issue, which I think is one of the crucial for the people of art, especially people of performing art. Since a long time in the European philosophy or European culture, we understand theater as something ephemeric, something very fragile, something, of course, which belongs to the moment, to the very moment of now. Is nothing more to say that the definition, indeed, of a theater is a definition of a human meeting, which lasts right now and right here. Like our meeting. I mean, we know what means now, but the notion of where is another thing. Anyway, theater was always defined, and is still defined, as a ephemeric moment of a human meeting in one time, in one space, focus on a certain level, on a almost unspoken or not easy to express differently than the action thing. But I want to speak about memory. I want to speak about something which is almost opposite, let's say, to this definition of theater as a ephemeric, momentual meeting, human meeting. And as we probably better understand, the memory is a fundament of actor's art, of an actor's craft. The body is the memory. There's nothing more to say. I'm quote almost, or semi-quote, Jerzy Grotowski. I'm paraphrasing his words. Memory, indeed, is the body. There is no other form of memory than our body is. Memory is not a file. Memory is not only an archive, like a composition of picture or composition of records on paper. No, the only memory which I want to speak about and which matters for me is, of course, body itself. That is one of the absolutely crucial way of understanding and follow Jerzy Grotowski's thoughts. How to be together with yourself in the same moment, to understand deeply that our very body, our very individual body, which means our very individual existence, belongs to a part of something which is much more than us, which is the recording of the entire universe. It is thanks Grotowski and thanks our work with songs, and I'm very sure that every practitioner of singing, every singer would agree with me that memory is a crucial key term for every craftsman and then for every artist. Without memory which is embodied, we don't exist. Without a memory which we are, we don't exist. They are banal, let's say, sentences, but they are not a simple metaphor. They are straight. They are absolutely exact to the point what I want to say. So thanks our practice in singing, I need a little time to understand how or what part of the universe memory I am, and what part of the universe memory I can be and I can continue. So we, very simple and very easy, let's say, can understand that memory is another form of human energy which is shared between us. I can say it from many other points of view. From, let's say, dramatical point of view. During our very analytic studies of action, actor's action, performer action, dancer actions, we can say that there are 4 different centers in our body, 4 different dramaturgical or dramatical centers which we can indicate while acting. Shoulders and hips, 1, 2. Breath, the 3rd. And there is another very important center, contact. Contact is a dramatical center, because contact is a form of sharing deeply human energy. And what is exact the substance? The substance of the sharing is a memory. Memory of our experience. Memory of our language. Memory, of course, of those who were before us. And memory of who we are. All what we are doing with our movements, all what we are doing with our songs, with our sounds, is only to share this fundamental, basic issue of what we are. We don't need language for it. We don't need a recording for it in terms of another form of records with a pen or with the camera or with the picture or with the internet. We need each other to contact and using the body speak through with a form of enlightenment. Memory has a very different shapes. My skin is a memory. My breath is a memory. My very language, even now I'm using English, which is not my mother tongue, and I'm not very fluent with English, but still it's part of my memory. As a singer, I feel some dominant in my body. Of course, my throat, my spine, my breath is for me the fundament of my body memory. Yeah? But I want to say how much we, with this ephemeric art, very fragile, very momentary, we are as well a field. We are fields of energy, and this is the exact memory. Memory could be expressed through the silence, and that's one of the most beautiful aspect of our work. How much silence is telling the most about us as a field of memory. I remember from 20 years ago when first time we were approaching to compose a first performance of Teatr inside the Grotowski Institute. The name of this performance was Gospels of Childhood. And I decided to incorporate into the performance one song of my very grandfather, because he was a singer. He was a singer. My grandfather was a singer of the funerals. He, by profession, was a baker. But in the same moment, he, as a member of the community, he was singer in a church, and he was singer for the funerals. So many times singing for funerals in our small town. As a child, I was accompanying him. He was taking me by hand, and we were going to the cemetery for another funeral ceremony and another funeral ceremony. I was listening to his voice, to his singing among many other singers in the chorus. Then, when I was 18, he died. My grandfather died. And it was his funeral I attended. And the chorus came again, the same chorus of the town. And the chorus sang the same songs which used to sing during funerals, but without him. So I couldn't recognize the song in the deep sense because there was something missing for me. What was missing, of course, his voice. The very silence of the voice of my grandfather, singer, during his own funeral ceremony was for me one of the most deep sound experience in my life, which changed everything. Silence, so the lack of, like a missing file, like a missing record, like a missing action, missing voice, was the deepest experience of sound and deepest experience of memory, which remained with me from that moment when I was 18 through the construction of my performance till now. I am not following his path. Even we used to sing during funerals because Teatr and Zar means funeral ceremony in Georgia, and we study those ceremonies from Caucasus, and we are working with it, and we are staging, we are trying to transform it into a new form of theater. But I'm not follow my grandfather's path as a baker and as a singer of funerals. But his voice and his silence is incorporated as another layer, another field of memory in me. When I sing his voice because biologically speaking, naturally, biologically, again, I'm his grandson. I don't need to imitate a voice of someone. I don't need to imitate voice of my grandfather because I am partly his voice. But the lack, the missing moment, the missing aspect of his presence is still in me, is incorporated under my skin when I'm singing his song, when I'm singing those songs which I have heard and I have incorporated, like a breathe in. That's the English term, inspiration, which means as well breathe in, which means as well to take inspiration as the material. So I'm absolutely know that among singers, among people who are practicing singing, is a very natural way of understanding that the memory could be incorporated, it could be inhaled, and both as a sound and as a silence. As a sound of those who still sound, and as a silence of those who vibrate as a silence. Those who gone, like my grandfather. So this aspect of memory, I'm absolutely sure we are sharing. That is why this is so pity now and so painful that in this time, the very time of pandemic, our connection could be realized through this media. God bless the media. God bless those engineers and informatics who made all those possible. But in this same moment, it's a more and more painful, yeah, to understand again how much we are divided, how much my skin, my very body is disconnected from the presence of your existence and your body. But contact, what left is contact. Our attentiveness, our attention and attentiveness to each other. Attention, which could be the category of a spectacle. Attention, which could be the category of spectator, and attentiveness, which is the category of a human in us, of a witness in us. When it's about 10 years ago, we start work with Armene Sister project. Armene Sister project dedicated to Armenian genocide, one of the most cruel and enlarged tragedy of humanity done under the umbrella of the First World War, the Armenian genocide in 1915 in Anatolia, which is East Turkey. When I start to work with this, and we start to work with the last of the last fragments of songs from Anatolia, of the model tradition of Armenian, we understood that working with songs, we are not only, of course, we are getting the inspiration, we are not only taking and transmitting, transgressing the material from one corner to another corner, from the singers to the, let's say, to the performers, yeah? But we are trying to establish something which we start to name witness action, a domain of art, of the performing art. Witness action is a one word to say. Let's try, imagine, write it together. Witness action. So it's witnessing through action, or more clearly to say, is the very action with this witnessing between us, because we are in the performing arts, we are witness to each other, and this is the main fundamental function, main fundamental issue, how we meet as a witnesses among witnesses. We witness each other. Yes, with Armenian songs, with Armenian tribe and people, we met a lot of those who remember, of those who are still singing, are still practicing Armenian modern songs. And there are, as a chain of a chain, another fragment of the in the generation. What we can offer them, we people of art, we can plug ourselves to their tradition, yeah, and do like a side rail with some stops, some stations, shaping it into very contemporary shape. But we can witness each other. We can witness each other through another medium of theater. So we can understand that theater, being so fragile, being so hic and nunc, ephemeric, is a medium for memory, because it's a medium of witnessing. And the witness action, which means action which is witnessing, action which is not part of my very memory, which means, oh, this belongs to my life, it's really me, but it belongs to the humanity, and this belongs to a chain of generation. This action can be a witness in front of the other, who are as well spectators, but underneath they are witness. So as a spectator, they are coming for a show. As a spectator, they are coming to get pleasure, of course, to get beauty, to understand. But as a witness, they are coming for something more. They are not coming only for a story. They are not coming only for narration. They are coming for experience which can question their very life. Not judging, but questioning about the very moment and the very dedication and tools, like where we are. So we understood that we can work with songs, we can work with another masters, with another traditions, we can work with new material, but we need to find a new definition of witness action. So after Armenian Sister, which was dedicated to Armenian genocide, we start to work with the problem, how to express and how to bring the issue of refugees and of those who are dying anonymously on the Mediterranean Sea as refugees, not accepted by Europe, by ports, where the ships, as you know, are not accepted, yeah? Neither in France, neither in Italy, neither in Greece. I'm exact in Sicily, in Musomeli, in the very middle of Sicily. Many years ago, when first time I met those people from this very village, town of 10,000 inhabitants, they completely shocked and again shift my understanding of singing and of a primary function of who we are by sharing traditions and learning, getting into the other traditions. What they said, they came as one of the five different confraternities, brotherhoods of singers from the small town. And they came and says, look, we are now approaching very big tragedy of those who are dying on the Mediterranean Sea. We in Sicily are, and as well in many other small islands, like Lampedusa especially, we are asked to bury bodies in our cemeteries because there is no more place in the cemetery of the small towns along the sea coast. That is why those bodies are transported into the middle of the island. And we, the confraternity, brotherhoods, to whom the cemetery places, the very grave belongs, we offer to those bodies who are anonymous, we offer them place for the last way, for the last journey. We don't know who they are. We see just the color of their skin. We even don't see the color of their eyes because they are shut. There are numbers. They have some number because there is no document. We can guess how old he is. And we farewell them again in silence. Because only through silence, we Christians, we brotherhoods of Christians, look outside the Musomeli, how beautiful churches are there. But we don't have tools. We don't have tools to share and to farewell those souls. We don't know whom they are. We want to respect. That's we are in silence. We, people of Confraternia, 500 years tradition, yeah, generation after generation, singing for funerals, we lost our tools. Because only silence we can give and share as the last stone of memory of them, of their very material, let's say, very material form of existence. I mean, bodies, not knowing names, not knowing from where even, just guessing. But this is, I think, one of the last issue we can minimum give to the people. Do not break to the death, to the end, the issue of dignity. Yeah, silence. And it is very important now to understand that those silences will be the last, like the last stone on the grave, will be the last accord of memory. Silence, not noise, not the gold letters on the marble. No, on the marble is written unknown body founded, and then the date of the founded on the coast of Lampedusa, of the coast of the, only what is written. So we try to make a performance about it, to dedicate to it, yeah, to say not the stories, because we don't know the stories of them, but to say something about the issue of dignity. And actually our performance become a form of requiem. So not the very funeral mass, of course not, but a requiem, which means a kind of like poetical composition with songs from different corners of Mediterranean Sea. So we invite singers from Cairo, from Istanbul, from Tehran, you know, women, and we start to sing like this. I'm speaking now, I'm jumping to the matter of theater, of course, because for me still, theater is a very good tool to do, very good tool to share, yeah, but not to be focused on the performance itself, but being focused on the entire process, which starts very, very early, knowing very well that we should not lose this issue of witnessing or being witness to each other, being witness to each other, being witness to my masters, being witness to my colleagues, being witness to myself, then offer my witnessing to spectators or another witnesses who are coming one evening, another evening. As we know, Jerzy Grotowski was using the term of witness a lot in his last period of work, yeah, most in Pontedera, when he, according to Peter Brook, the sentence, art as vehicle, he was continuing this domain in performing arts. He was saying that the very action which they construct and they are running through every day with the presence or without the presence of witnesses. He never again called those guests spectators. He named them witness. But actually, the very use of term witness, he did it already in the middle 60s when he worked with Ryszard Cieślak for Constant Prince. You can see in his texts. He is speaking for the very times in the middle of 60s about spectator witness. Already there. He had the intuition. Now we understand it, let's say, much better, or we want to understand, because we want to follow this trajectory which Grotowski shaped. But in that time, more than half century back, it was not very obvious and very simple to understand what in performing arts means witness. Spectator, okay, yeah, coming for a performance, for the beauty, for a kind of story, for the kind of sensitive experience. But he spoke already at that time about witness. Absolutely great intuition. He didn't develop a lot at that time. He was, as usually, in the middle 60s, making a kind of opposition, like, okay, spectator, witness, and then witness, spectator together. Like he worked with Zygmunt Molik, I'm watching now Marco, with body and voice. Now it's a body voice, yeah? Or body and memory, then the body memory together. Language is not enough to say what we want to mark. That is why you are creating this kind of double terms, then like a one word. Working with songs, I'm sharing with you all of this issue of memory because this is a crucial for me after many, many years working with songs, with different masters from around the world. That whatever I'm touching the issue of embodied memory, or the very body, which is only expressed through singing, but indeed we are sharing one of another layer of experience of a generation which gone or still are among us. For the accomplish this project with Armine's sister, accomplish the project with Mede for Mediterraneans, I propose next step name Moire. Is it from Greek? Yeah, Moire. So those who are 5 in one myth, in another there are 3 who are making the thread of life, but they are as well cutting the thread of life. I wish, it is honor for us if we make a third performance, Moire, will be dedicated to desaparecidos. Those people with the broken biography from Argentina, from Mexico. Very well documented biographies, but cut it by regime or cut it by the just bad people like mafia, etc. But all of this work turned me towards a phenomenon which I would like to say and share with you, which I name after another Greek term, anamnesis. Is not very often used, this term, anamnesis, not amnesis, anamnesis. You can easily, let's say, found in the dictionary, anamnesis. You know probably the best anamnesa or anamnesis as a history of your illness. Your doctor, when you are long time or short in a hospital, is writing anamnesa or anamnesis of your illness, which means all the short, important story of what happened, what kind of medicaments you got, what was your temperature. This is anamnesis. But when we speak about anamnesis, I'm speaking again about this history which is written and recorded in your body. Then anamnesis, according to dictionary, is a part of the Platonic ideas. So anamnesa is this form of reminiscence. Yeah, this remembering out, like a active action, which Platon understood as a form of our spiritual existence. That all what we are doing here as spirits incorporated are taking part in the very big universal anamnesis, which means our body is helping us to understand those eternal ideas. Of course, in a cave of shadows. That is why we work with the pictures, with the reprints, with the mirrors, with the Maya, not with the truth direct, but through the form of anamnesis. In the Christian liturgy, anamnesis means the act of Jesus, which was done once in the history of the universe, and now the very liturgy, Eucharistia, is repeating this. Repeating means recalling, yeah, not redoing, but recalling, making it again presence, because this sacrificial of the Savior done once is given to us as a Eucharistia to gather us as a church, a living church. So inside of Eucharistia, there is anamnesis too. So anamnesis has a many different definitions, but all of them are related with the actual memory which is presence, not memory which is written, which is right now presence, right now important, and memory which care about the past, but it's not equal, let's record all the past and bring the past here. No, it's a life. Is anamnesis this form of stream of life, which like a river still goes, not forgetting, of course, the sources. Because each drop of water remembers, like a memory of water in the holistic, remembers the source, but it's not anymore belongs to the source. It's far, even entering the sea. So I'm thinking about the art, especially about the performing arts, as a form of permanent anamnesis. I hope that soon, celebrating in Wrocław and then sharing with the world the UNESCO capital of performing arts, which Wrocław will be, I will try to propose this term, anamnesis of art and anamnesis in art, to be reconsidered, to be rethink as a form of living art inside performing arts, inside theater, or through the form of theater. I don't know what kind of shapes. I belong that which I'm doing. There are songs which would be the base, the fundament of this kind of theater. Singing, vibration, yeah, songs of traditions for me are the most beautiful, most working material for theater in the domain of, in the path of anamnesis. At the end, I would like to, relating with the memory and the very active, very working, hard working, which means memory as an action, memory as a really, is it like a really task? It's not only a moment which when you read a file or when you discover something. Anamnesis is like a permanent work. Anamnesis works in you when you dream. Anamnesis probably works in you the most when you are in a silence, but as well when you are joyful singing with the hands, putting up. You are an open channel for the actual and the future act of anamnesis for sure. There's another very key word which I found in a Greek, and I want to share with you with the deepest aspect, thinking about the memory which we are, not which we have in our hands, which we have. This term is very, how to say, it's very simple for Greeks, because it is exact the notion of truth. Aletheia. Aletheia is how Greeks say for the truth. They have many different terms, including paradox. Is another form of doxa and paradox of the truth. But the deep sense, the deepest term for the truth is aletheia. Etymologically speaking, the word aletheia is a negation. Aletheia. So something which becomes as a negation. What they negate. And now we have to come a little to the mythology again. Lete is one of the river in Hades. Yeah, Hades has 5 rivers. In another myth, 3 rivers, but one of them is Lete. And Lete is a very particular river, because this is the river of forgetting. So like it's absolutely opposite to what I'm saying about memory. Lete is to forget. So soul coming to the Hades, taking by Caronte, Haront on the over Styx, is coming through the Lete to clean, which means to forget. Lete, the river in Hades, is only to forget for the soul what happened in the previous life. But what left after on the other bank of Lete is aletheia. So something which is impossible to clean, to reject, to to smash down is aletheia, is the truth. And that is how Greeks arrived to the term, to the notion, to understanding of the deepest aspects of the truth. Is something which can't be erased, even post-mortem. Something which can't be forgotten, or just left on the other bank, even post-mortal, as a soul. That's very beautiful, actually, way of understanding the notion of the truth and the notion of the memory. So not everything is necessary to carry on. Only the truth. The rest you can leave in sticks as the material body, in the letter as the memory of soul. And this, what we left, will be the truth and will be the most beautiful and most precious part of our life, of our universal, let's say, dedication to as a part of the universe. So with this notion of the truth, aletheia, aletheia, that is something which is impossible to erase. Inside, as a question inside performing arts, as a question of what memory means actually, and what part of memory we are, I would like to share with you today and to accomplish the day before another anniversary, another birthday of Jerzy Grotowski. He never spoke about aletheia or anamnesis, but of course he spoke a lot about reminiscence, about the issue of reminiscencia, both in the performer text and as well in those texts from the middle 60s when he worked with Cieślak for Constant Prince. So I hope this notion about aletheia and about anamnesis as a form of working memory, embodied memory, it will be something which he could accept, or he could as well agree. That's all. Thank you.
Grazie. Thank you.
Thank you, Jarek, for your words. If there is some answer, you can write or we read. I have an answer for you, Jarek, before, so I will open this answer and question.
So you mean a question or answer?
Question, yes.
Yes, okay.
My question is, which kind of memory, of energy, our society, our time has to recall in this moment for you?
We are seeing how fast we are surrounded by different, we call them media. Media means mediation. All of those instruments, tools which are mediating or intermediating between us. And I'm very afraid that many of them are deviating or changing a lot of those fragile memory, fragile energy memory, which we are fundamentally. Look, we can compare the situation of what the very fraction rainbow of frequency memory is when we meet each other, comparing to even now, to the moment of a problem of heating. We can heat our room with a fire. We can heat our room with an electric heater. Finally, you can heat our room with this rails, like a red lamp, which are giving the frequency. And we understand very well, it's not this same. It's not the same. The temperature in our room will be higher, will go up, technically speaking, but we are doing completely different things because of different medium we use to warm up, let's say. Yeah. So as you know, probably I'm extremely against any form of technology, any form of mediation in theater, except human voice. So this was based on the voice. It's for me absolutely principle, because voice is a human phenomenon. Voice made me human. Voice of my mother, of my grandfather, voice of you, my voice of my children, or the necessity of voice of my children make me human, made me human, and make me human right now. Because we are human not only once when we born, we are humans every time. So all techniques, all songs, traditions, I don't know, methods, whatever we say, which are based on human voice are for me the most precious, the most beautiful, the most valid. It could be singing, of course. It could be other form of incantation. It could be other form of textual, of course, textual improvisation, which is very hard because text is structure, is a very dense, very elaborated, structure of including the intellectual process and intellectual coherency. But voice as a medium is all, exclusively all, and enough what is needed, and not more. When we start to mediate the voice, mediate means recording, sending like now via internet, or doing many other forms. No. For me, it's already like steps. We understood now it's very easy that when in the pandemic time, we had offer even with support from the Ministry of Culture to doing a kind of pedagogy via internet. No, we understood, no, we can't sing together or learn anything via internet. Because first of all, of course, of the still very weak quality of connection, the technical connection, the little unsynchronized things, very bad frequency, etc. But it's absolutely unhuman. But we start, of course, to say and to share about chronology of our experience. And we open, let's say, our archive, we open our hearts of those, what happened and what we use as a material, and as well of those which we were not able to use, like our Iranian experience from the past. But we understood again and again, much deeply, that human voice shared in one space, for me, is now the definition of theater as a meeting. All techniques which are supporting it, and all techniques which are respecting the human voice as a source of our humanity. I don't know, it's our destiny. My destiny is silence, probably, My destiny is maybe only one breath, one last breath. But I'm only focused for it, And the rest, all those movement composition, all what's happened with the body is the consequence of the thinking about the voice and accepting voice.
There is a thank you. There is a question. What do you think about relationship between a performer and audience, and about witness after the performance? What is it, witness and audience for you?
I didn't say audience. I have to immediately jump to the question. Spectator. Audience is the category, public category. Audience is a category of a management and a category of a mass. Let's speak about spectator. Yes. What is the relation between witness and spectator? Witness never sleeps. Spectator can sleep. Or in sleep because he's bored. Maybe because he's a child and really not understand and really not accept. So it's a form of saying, no way. Witness never sleep. Witness can miss something, of course, but has wide open eyes every moment. So witness is a gift. I'm not always a witness. Someone, something need to evoke in me witness. So I need an actor, I need a performer, a singer, dancer. I need you to awake in me a witness. Is it like a string? Maybe it goes through my spine column, maybe it's here along the heart, maybe it's my throat as well. For example, when I'm attending a performance, singing performance, my throat is very active. Not that I'm singing together, but I know it's very active. Yeah, but until the moment that I can understand that, yes, we're breathing together, not only together like a punctum, together with the many very fragile qualities of the breath. So I very appreciate when actors, performers, one or a group, evoking in me as a spectator witness this kind of string, which I start to vibrate. This is the witness inside a spectator, not inside the audience, inside the single spectator. Of course, we can see it in a many different way, how it could be, I don't know, manifested, or how it could be seen, or how it happened. We remember that one of the biggest aspect of Grotowski theater was that many of the performances, starting from from Acropolis, of course, Constant Prince, Apocalypsis Configuris, was finishing, which means as a structure, without applauding. Audience applaud, spectators applaud, witness not applaud, which means they turn spectators to witnesses. Without tools, it was 60s, middle 60s, end of the 60s, 70s. People didn't talk about witnessing, but they were witnessing. They didn't applaud. Yeah, they took this part of energy in different shapes, in different words, of course, speechless, something, and they went out after 5 minutes, after 10 minutes, we don't know. Yeah, that's one of the most beautiful proof, let's say, how inside a performance, inside the theatrical issue, inside the theatrical business, whatever, business in the large say, not small business, we can have something enormous precious, which is between us, yeah, like a string touch. So for me, this is the witness. This is the witness. Yeah. After Armine sister performance, there were people who were standing with us for another while, for a long time, which were touching the sand or taking bucket of sand and throwing on this of their own. But all of them, and that's belong to the concept, all of them had to leave the space. And we construct the space of the performance in such way, I hope that some of you had this experience of attending, watching Armine, that leaving the space, you had to step on sand which was spread during the performance along the space. And you had to trace with your shoes another trace. And then you understood something different, that whatever you know about Armenian genocide, we don't know more. We are as well just ignorance. We as well are people of the 21st century, the century of ignorance, but all together. And all of us are just imprinting traces, above each other, like on the sand. And this was another aspect, another way of saying to the people, we are witnessing each other. We don't know each other. We don't judge each other, but we are witnessing without names, yeah, without even saying the story. Yeah? But we are sure that we were there for a moment, 1 hour, 1 hour, 20 minutes, or maybe just 20 minutes, just the last 20 minutes, or just last 5 minutes, but we were together for sure, fully presence. Witness is present always, yeah? Spectator with the body could be there, but could be unpresent completely, yeah? So witness is this what vibrates in us. Witness is this what never sleeps in us and is present with, inside of us, yeah? Maybe witnessing is our presence. Now I'm speaking metaphorically, of course, a lot. Yeah. Okay.
There is another question from Elizabeth. Thank you very much for this talk. Along with what you say about contact and existent research you have done, what do you see as the way of locating, assessing, finding, and eventually sharing these memories inside the body? So how to assess to this memory of the body?
It's a paradox for me, paradox because it's the only how I know it. And what is paradoxical? That I'm working with traditions, like Georgian traditions, Corsican, Sardinian, or Armenian, especially Armenian, which are not part of my own, let's say, neither the nation, neither the group, society, my community, not. So which means that like it's a form of anthropology that according to what we know, or what we know, thanks to Eugenio Barba, we acculturate first, acculturate our bodies. We allowed, and this is a phenomenon of a performer craft, we allowed that our body will take, yeah, like on the shoulder, but take inside, will take the story, the material of the other. Because the issue or the notion of the other in performing arts is a very, very crucial. We have to start to speak about myself, he, in third person, about him, I, without names. Through songs, I believe it is possible. Because songs, imagine songs of like Armenian minority in Anatolia, in Turkey. Without unbroken chain of generation, those songs not exist anymore. So we are entering to this war and we are asking for elements of the traditions. Let's say we are asking for learning songs, certain songs, which are 100 songs, 100 songs we are learning. But still, this is only element. This is only 100 among 100,000. We incorporate it, we acculturated, yeah? And with this, the operation of sharing now, this embodied memory, is more, let's say, clear. It's a form of anthropological laboratory. This is visible aspect, hearable aspect, clearly aspect. How much the same process is permanently working inside of us with our own very life, very stream of life, how we are, is a much, how to say, complex and complicated, yeah? And very rare it is a subject of a theater as a material. The quality, the natural quality of my voice, the natural, which means this which are given to me as a form of gift, because body is the gift, voice is the gift. I'm not analyzing it, I'm singing with my voice. So, as I said at the beginning, I'm not trying to pretending to sing neither like my grandfather, neither like my master, like Aram. I'm myself. And with my very voice, for example, I'm speaking, I pronounce not very well the Polish consonants, R, R. I pronounce in the French way, yeah? And I'm like this. When I'm singing, I'm free of it. There's once. But it's not a question I care, not care. It's beyond caring, not caring. It's my tool, like one leg shorter. And I'm using it. All the qualities of my incorporation, which I am. But to not hide it, but to reveal it, I need another forms, this acculturated forms. Yeah. So I'm doing it both, like a form and the bread. Yeah. That my body is a forma, that I'm taking a dough and making this day bread for you. And the bread has a shape, squarey or roundy as my body. Then you understand, oh, this is a Fred's bread. Yeah, there's a kind of, because it's this form. But today, taste better, let's say. Or no, yesterday, taste better, your bread, whatever it means. Yeah, whatever is your sensation, I will agree. So the bread is the material which I'm acculturated, but I'm underneath. And it's much easier, of course, much with the deep analytics, yeah, with the craft working with those acculturated forms. That is why it's a paradox. Till now, after 20 years of working with songs, I'm still not able, and I'm not sure I will be ever working with Polish materials. Able because it's too close, very connected, very glued. I can incrustate, I can take 1 or 2, 3 songs and put inside performance as a structure to contrapoint, yeah, to open some other thread for interpretation. But for me as a practitioner, no, it's too close my life, too close my, myself, that I will both too much recognize and almost not recognize me, because this story will be not telling about me, nothing more which I know and I don't know. So to tell my story about myself, I need the story of the other. And again, this is the fundamental definition of the theater. I need the other to tell the story about myself, telling your story.
Witnesses,
yeah. But I'm shifting only the let's say the function, like in language, comparing to language, I or he. Yeah. In theater, it means much complex. It's much complex. It's not only I and he. Yeah. It's not only first person, second person, and third person. It's much bigger rainbow at the same time. When I speak I speak I. He is not there. But when I'm present with you, I'm both. In me, and I'm you, and I'm as well he. Yeah.
Today I was speaking with Marco about my idea of what is voice, and I like to imagine the voice as our DNA. So we have what you said, we have our background, our memory in our voice, because for sure my voice could be similar to my mother or my father's voice, but then it's peculiar. So each one of us has a different voice, you know, it's unique in this way. Each DNA is different from another DNA, no? And we were talking also about ISO. It's something that in music therapy means the identity of the sound of each one of us, identità sonora, no? So it's our sound identity, I could translate. And I really agree with what you say about Polish songs. It could seem strange that you are Polish, and it is more difficult for you to work with Polish songs, but they touch too much your ISO, so your sound identity. So it's even more difficult to work with something that we already have inside ourselves than with something that we don't know sometimes. So yes. We have other questions.
There is another question from Raisa. Thank you very much. You see music performance, like playing the piano, also as a media, like the human voice?
There was the question already.
Yeah, if you see the music performance like a media, like the human voice that you talk about, like a medium to the memory, to the energy, to the witness.
I'm not sure I'm really catching the question. Yeah, I'm with this. I'm quite radical in terms. that speaking about the core, really core of, for me, of a work is related with the voice exclusively, and there's no doubt, yeah. Or the other aspect of other instruments and instrumentarium, of course, is possible. It's like, okay, my body is not naked in the performance, could be naked, but it's not necessary to be naked to speak through the body, as we know, yeah. So of course, I can have many different instruments or instrumentarium. In our performance, by the way, I'm not using term, when I compose a performance, I'm not using terms props or especially scenography. I'm saying about instrumentarium. All what we touch, what we move, what we use, let's say, are instruments, yeah? Starting from the glasses, to the columns, to the sound of sand or other form of substances, let's say, which we are using, yeah? So we are going towards instrumental way of using them, virtuosious way of using them, like some of the musical instruments. But the matter is to balance between this instrumental and, I can say, the podmiotowy, subjective, yeah, which is connected with the very deep identity. In our body constitution, is another term I'm trying to share, body constitution. I used to say, remember, you have the body, but you are body. Always, always both. You have voice. Many times in the school, people say, teachers say, you have voice. No, you don't have voice. You don't have good voice. Oh, the voice is better. She has voice. You have voice, but you are voice. There are two corners. You don't need to choose between I have the voice or I am a voice. Your goal is to put it together, but not squeeze, rather to enlarge your word, and you are like on the two pillars. You have the voice and you are the voice. So when the aspect you have the voice, you can help, you can accomplish, you can accompany you with many different instrumentarium compositions. But don't forget, you are the voice. If you are not the singer, you are the breath. You are the breath. Yeah, that's you as a dancer, as a pianist, as a violinist. You still are breathing, and I can appreciate the music. I can appreciate, let's say, the virtuosity, of course, of the very performing. But on the highest level, I will watch your breath. I will watch tensions. I will, how to say? I will see it. I will read it. I will experience this. So those tensions which are coming through your body, yeah, or not tensions. I don't want to say the tension is always bad. No. Stream, flow, something which is alive and is unique right now and right you and nobody else. Breathe like this. Oh, there's art, yeah. Because many people can play like this, but nobody can be present like you. Nobody can substitute your presence. And this is we want to give to the people, and we are obliged to transform as a opus, as a form of art. It's not easy. Again, how to transform our life as an opus to give to someone without tools? Not possible. We need tools, other songs, acculturation, techniques, skills, then to disarm, then to forget about this. Oh, this is absolutely Grotowski. Forget about technique, leave it. But after a certain let's say, point of trajectory, yeah, of the craft trajectory, of course.
Okay, the last is, thank you so much for your important topic. I have come to know what is memory now and different among audience, spectator and witness. So it's a thank you for you. And I think that we say thank you for your speech, for your presence. And thank you so much for your time.
For your witness.
I'm happy that you know what is the memory. I don't know. I don't know. All of this was questions. Remember, all those was questions. I'm saying them as a sentences with the point. But now please put a question mark after everything what I said. Is exact what I'm doing with everyone, including we are meeting today in the day before, which we called it vigil, vigilia off. Always in Poland, vigilia, the day before, is very important, yeah, very important, because it means vigil, which means we are waiting, we are preparing, we want to not only celebrate, we want to be ready for something. So we are doing it, we are realizing our meeting in the vigilia of Jerzy Grotowski's birthday, another birthday date. But I'm questioning Grotowski in this way. I'm, let's say, opening texts, like a written form, and I'm putting up there every sentence, question mark, question, every. And I hope he will agree with me. So I trust him, I'm trust fully. I will follow, but mentally and intellectually, I'm putting question mark, what it means. I have to prove it, I have to check it with my life. Otherwise, I can quote it. I open the book, I will read you something, and you will say, oh, great, yeah. So I'm asking you to put question mark after all what we says together, because this is only words, there's only texts, and please do it with every master and everyone you meet, yeah, with the deep respect, of course, because it's a gift as well that you can put a question mark. It's an enormous gift.
The title about
Jarek, if there is no question now, because you are, I heard that you maybe sing a song, if it's possible, to one line for us.
No, please, no, because it's because of the internet, of this kind of connection, I always refuse now.
Okay.
I will. I invite you to our Teatr net.
Yes.
Yeah, with these lessons or those. Yeah, you can see our recordings with all my company, and especially speaking in the very concrete way about our songs. Yeah, and our songs, not mine. I didn't compose one song. Because I believe all songs are already composed, all, from the beginning to the end of the world. But we only are choosing some of them. I hope you understand and forgive me.
Yes.
I'm sharing my voice.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Julia, thank you, Jarek.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
Just few words before you leave with us. That when in the beginning I said that it's a very pleasure, because in 2013 when we start this celebration or celebrating Jerzy Grotowski's birthday and Towards a Better World Festival, and that time also we never questioned that why we celebrate Grotowski's birthday, but we just flow. And in this pandemic, when me, Marek, and Julia, and you with us, and tomorrow, as you said, that preparation for tomorrow, that why we are doing this towards a better world. And I don't know the answer, we are all searching. Maybe with your talk, the one breath, maybe the moment, the silence, maybe the life. So after all, life, I think. So thank you again for recalling life in this pandemic, that what we are and what we for. So it's we are happy. Julia, if you announce for tomorrow's program, it will be great.
Yes. So tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. we will have with us Mr. Axel Tangerding. I hope I pronounce it very well. The director of Meta Theater from Germany. And you are all welcome. Thank you, Jarek. We hope that one day we could sing together live.
Yes. together.
In Wrocław,
Yes,
in
yes.
Italy, yes, of course.
With our
In Italy.
bodies in contact.
Thank you. So, but tomorrow I will be traveling, but I will be listening with you. I will be in the conference, of course.
Thank
Listening
you.
to Axel. Thank you, and to others.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Have a good day in Italy. Ciao.
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 So I sing the song of Three Sisters from the mountains. Sopra alti monti c'erano tre sorelle. Sopra quegli alti monti c'erano tre sorelle. E la più maggiore di quelle si è messa a navigare. E la più maggiore di quelle si è messa a navigare. Dal navigar che fece, l'anello le cascò. Dal navigar che fece, l'anello le cascò. Ed alzando gli occhi all'onda, lei vide un pescator. Ed alzando gli occhi all'onda, lei vide un pescator.
Okay. See you tomorrow at 8:30 Indian time, 5 p.m. Italian or Italian time. So, bye. Marco, any word? So we leave. Shubharatri. Good night.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, bye, bye.